Write a beautiful story about how the American Museum was started. In 500 words. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're retaking a deep dive into one of New York City's most iconic institutions, the American Museum of Natural History. Whether you've seen it in movies like Night at the Museum, or you've been lucky enough to walk its grand halls, there's no denying its magic. But have you ever wondered how this incredible place came to be? Who were the visionaries behind it? And just how old is it? Well, you're in the right place, because today we're uncovering the fascinating origin story of the AMNH. Let's rewind the clock to the mid-19th century. A young naturalist named Albert Smith Bickmore had a dream. He had studied under the brilliant zoologist Louis Agassiz at Harvard, and he was inspired by Agassiz's Museum of Comparative Zoology. Bickmore envisioned a world-class natural history museum right in the heart of New York City, a place that would rival the great museums of Europe. But a dream this big isn't built by one person alone. Bickmore was a man with a plan and a lot of determination. He began lobbying influential and wealthy New Yorkers, pitching his grand idea. And it worked. He managed to win the support of some of the most powerful figures of the time. We're talking about people like Theodore Roosevelt Sr., the father of the future president, the financier J.P. Morgan, and Morris K. Jessup, a philanthropist who would later become the museum's president for many years. These weren't just backers, they were true believers in the project. With this powerful coalition behind him, Bickmore's dream started to become a reality. On April 6, 1869, the governor of New York, John Thompson Hoffman, officially signed the act that created the American Museum of Natural History. So, to answer our first question, how old is the museum? If we go by its official charter date, it's over 150 years old. It's a true legacy institution that has been educating and inspiring people for generations. But here, as a fun fact, the museum we know and love today was unto its first home, when it initially opened its doors to the public in 1871. Its collections were housed in the old Arsenal building in Central Park. Imagine, some of those very first exhibits were displayed in a building that was originally a munitions depot. It was a temporary home, a starting point. The collections grew so quickly that it was clear a much larger space was needed. The city leaders agreed. They designated a piece of land known as Manhattan Square, which is the site the museum occupies today, just across the street from Central Park. The cornerstone for the very first building was laid in 1874 by none other than U.S. President Ulysses S. Grant. That original building, a beautiful Victorian Gothic structure, is now mostly hidden from view, tucked away inside the massive complex of 26 interconnected buildings that make up the museum today. When the new building opened in 1877, it was a triumph, Albert Bickmore's vision. Fueled by the generosity of New York's leading citizens and the support of the city, had finally found its permanent home. Morris K. Jessup, as president, played a crucial role in its expansion. He wasn't just a figurehead. He personally funded many of the museum's most famous expeditions. These expeditions traveled to the far corners of the globe, from the Arctic to Siberia, bringing back invaluable artifacts, fossils, and specimens that form the core of the museum's collection. Think about the famous dinosaur halls. The quest for those fossils began in the late 19th century with legendary paleontologists like Barnum Brown, who was hired by the museum and became one of the greatest fossil hunters of all time. He discovered the first documented remains of Tyrannosaurus rex. It was this spirit of adventure and scientific curiosity, championed by people like Bickmore and Jessup, that defined the museum's early years and continues to this day. So, the next time you stand beneath the giant Barosaurus in the rotunda or gaze up at the big blue whale, remember the incredible story behind it all. It started with the dream of a single naturalist, Albert Bickett, and was brought to life by a community of forward-thinking New Yorkers who believed in the power of science and education. The American Museum of Natural History isn't just a building full of old things. It's a testament to human curiosity and the enduring quest for knowledge. Thanks so much for joining me on this historical journey today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you do not miss our next adventure. See you in the next video.